This is Isaac Morehouse. Welcome to the podcast where we discuss education, entrepreneurship, big ideas, how to put them into practice in the real world, and above all, how to live free. This is a special episode of the podcast because it's all about Praxis. I've had many people ask me, hey, why don't you talk more about Praxis on your podcast? You don't mention it that much. I don't hear much about it. Isn't that like your company? Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. And maybe I should mention it more, talk about it more. Maybe I will. In fact, I think I will. But this podcast it's a podcast about whatever interests me and all kinds of ideas out there in sort of the broader world, education, entrepreneurship, living freely. And I don't want it to feel to anyone like just an advertisement for Praxis. But Praxis is what I live and breathe. It is what I'm doing all the time when I'm not podcasting and even when I am podcasting. And it's the company that I love. So what is it? It is a 1-year program for 18 to 25-year-olds who really just want to get out of the classroom and go get an awesome job right now and learn on the job. Go work for an awesome startup, small business, work alongside entrepreneurs in a setting where they're not just like an intern in a cubicle farm, but it's, a company where they're in there making a difference right now today while doing a rigorous personal development, coaching, like liberal arts combined with digital skills program. I mean, it's truly amazing. You build your own website, you do a portfolio of self-guided projects, you have weekly one-on-one coaching sessions with our advisors. You're kind of creating your own schedule and learning program based on a phenomenal curriculum library we've put together that's across everything from the liberal arts to things like public speaking and digital skills and writing skills while you're working 30 hours a week at a company, at one of our business partners in our network. And the best part is it's free. You're getting paid for your work, and what you get paid is the same as what you pay for tuition. So the net cost is essentially zero. If you're moving to a new city to work with your business partner, you're going to have to cover your cost of living during the program. But so that's the program in a nutshell. Discoverpraxis.com is the website, but I don't want to just tell you about it. My preference is to have some of our customers talk about it. So I spent a good bit of time interviewing 10 either graduates of Praxis or current participants or people who are about to start the program, who've been accepted and who are just about to start. And I had over 100 minutes of audio, and I went to freelancer.com, one of my favorite websites. They're not sponsoring this show, but I wish they were. Freelancer.com. You can sponsor this podcast, and I'll promote you every time. And I was like, hey, I wonder if somebody can edit this down into a good 10-minute montage of some of the best clips. And I found somebody from Serbia for a very reasonable price. I can't even remember what it was now, who took, probably 2 hours worth of audio or more and condensed it down. And he even sent me 2 versions. He sent me one version that had music in the background and one without. I'm going to run with the one without. The music was a little mournful, but it was interesting. It was original composition. But that's what we've got queued up. So I'm going to let the Praxis participants, future participants, and graduates take it from here and tell you a little bit more about Praxis, why they did it, and what they think so far.
My name is Adam Castle.
I'm Cameron Luther.
My name is Diana Zitting.
Hey everyone, my name is Imani Watson.
My name is James Walpole.
My name is Mary Kate Crockett Lewis.
I am Mitch Broderick. My name is Mitchell Earl.
My name is Tanina.
My name is Zach Corbett.
I've been traveling around just looking for the right situation to get my hands into since leaving high school.
I got my GED when I was 16. I've been accepted to Praxis.
I completed 3 of the 4 years at the University of Michigan. I was a baseball player, the varsity team there.
I had dropped out of college after my first year. I just didn't see myself going into debt to get a degree.
Graduated at 24, and just the natural next step for me was college. And about a year and a half in, I realized that those weren't really plans that fit really what I was trying to do with my life. They didn't seem like those paths were going the same way.
A lot of people got lost. They didn't really know what to do after college, and I found myself in that same boat. I had changed my major like 3 or 4 times within a span of like under 2 years.
I was working at the university as an assistant programmer.
I've always been somebody who doesn't necessarily do things the traditional way. I like to do things in a way that makes the most sense to me, and I'm more interested in results as opposed to just satisfying requirements that at times almost seem arbitrary.
I wanted to get my GED so I could focus more on my passions and on my future so that I could be more productive with my time.
I chose to participate in Praxis and get real-world experience for the more technical field that I wanted to go into.
Really, the moment I found Praxis and kind of the time around that I decided I didn't want to go to college was a pretty firm conviction, deep down at least, that I didn't want to do the college route. I really, really wanted to challenge myself and do something, not a traditional challenge, to complete a challenge within the structure you're given. I really wanted to do something that was a challenge, but not a challenge that was given to me just to complete finishing college, getting a degree. So it took me a while to really discover that and dig down to that truth about what I wanted out of this experience. I found pretty quickly that, I wanted this challenge and I was ready for it, actually.
Basically, I liked getting A's, but I hated school because I liked getting A's. And I really didn't feel like I learned a whole lot at the community college. It often depended on the class, the teacher, and my own attitude, but overall it was pretty easy, and I just was kind of bored.
I just didn't see myself going into debt to get a degree. And honestly, the other part of it was that it was going to take too long. I didn't have the patience to actually get the degree and then kind of then start my life.
I remember calling my dad like just one morning and kind of laid it all out. That was the first they had heard of it. And I just told him I'd done a lot of thinking, and I'd kind of journaled it all out, like all of my frustrations and emotions about it. And I just realized that this was going to be at least the direction that led to more fulfillment and probably a higher likelihood of happiness for me. And when I explained that to them, it was pretty easy to get them on board after that.
And I would say that I probably only experienced an average amount of doubt from friends and family. Really, actually not so bad. Maybe I didn't notice as much.
It's just gotten me to realize, I don't necessarily want a job where I'm not happy or I won't be able to spend time with my loved ones.
I was interested in being pegged down into a job that I may or may not like for 5 or 10 years, plus just trying to pay off debt.
I tried going back to school twice, and both times I just realized that it was just going too slow. Everything that I've learned, I did with my hands, and I just jumped into it. That's just my learning style, to go headlong into something. Academia just was too slow for me. And when I came across Praxis through a friend of mine that participated, I realized that I just had to give it a go and integrate with the mentorship program, the education system, and see where Praxis would put me. So far it's been great.
I can't stand spending time doing things that I don't genuinely feel are benefiting me. And that's kind of the way that things started to feel at the university. I would say that I was planning on finishing, but found Praxis. I researched it a little bit, looked into the types of people who were doing it, what they were getting out of it, what the real mission behind it was, and it was something that really, really appealed to me, and I just didn't want to pass it up. I didn't know whether I would end up pursuing it if I waited a year or not, so I just wanted to go ahead and do it at that point in time, and I'm very glad that I did.
I really do think that I'm going to be an entrepreneur, when I'm older. But I think Praxis was a really good starting point for me because as far as my dreams of working in the entertainment industry, college wasn't really going to get me there. So Praxis was a really great starting point for me just because I could learn the ins and outs of owning and creating a business, creating growth. I think it's important to be able to create growth wherever you are in life or in your career. That's why I chose Praxis.
It was around the time I was, trying to make some final graduation decisions. I decided to put the brakes on, and I decided that I needed experience more than I needed an actual degree for the field that I was going into.
It forced me to test some things I thought I believed about myself or believed that I was capable of doing and really actually see if I had the guts for it.
Well, I first heard about Praxis through my older sister and then heard about it again through another person and started looking into it. And what appealed to me was that I was going to be working in an environment, a small business where I could actually make an impact in the company.
One of the things is that I've become very aware of the things that I do that are not productive use of my time. Admitting to yourself that the goals that you want to achieve are achievable. There's a path to it. Once you know what goal it is, there are necessary required actions to attain it. And it's simply figuring out what that formula is.
That, once I reached a certain level, I would be free to kind of pursue the things that I wanted to do. And I was like, well, why wait? Why wait? I can start pursuing those now. I think that Praxis is going to give me the opportunity to kind of explore how I can use those skill sets in a better way.
I found the Praxis blog and I bookmarked a bunch of the posts and I was going through it and reading it and I was like, I'm going to drop out of college. And then I told my parents and my dad. He was very supportive. He said, well, if you know what's best for you.
The most valuable thing is just the people and building my network. Everyone with Praxis, both the participants and who run it, are great people. And the most valuable resource is each other. So just being able to connect up with more like-minded people that are going in their own directions and moving strong.
By the time that I made the decision, which wasn't really long after finding out about Praxis, probably within a week of finding out about it, I was already applying and making it a plan that I wanted to do. They were on the same page as I was. They totally resonated with where I was coming from, and they thought that it would be as great of an experience as I thought that it would be.
I would say that I tried so much harder at it, and I enjoyed it so much more. So it was kind of that twin feature of it, was just the hard work was the enjoyment of it, I guess. And with school, those things are quite separated. So yeah, I would say just like in really enjoying the process of sitting down for several hours and digging through a long book that I might not otherwise have read. I just savored that challenge a lot. And the fact that it was really integrated with, things I was doing at work. I could read by economic concept one night and then go the next day to work and really see it at work. That was also very different and also very helpful for giving me a new perspective on learning, that it's immensely self-interested. And if it's not self-interested, you're not doing it right.
I would say if you're not satisfied with college, or you're not feeling you're getting all the value out of it, you have to try something else. You owe it to yourself to try something new. When you step into that position with your business partner, it's going to demand something of you that you've probably never really conjured up before. And that's great. It's growth, and that's what feels like to really create value for another company. And it's extraordinarily fulfilling.
Having worked for several clients, I just realized that it's something that was like, hey, I can continue to do this. It really works into my schedule. It's going to give me some extra income on the side. But if I keep doing it as a source of income, then it's going to also incentivize me to continue to pursue this hobby that I just enjoy doing. It's going to allow me to fund this hobby, I guess. And so that was really where the motivation for me came in, is just that it was something that I like to do. And so I kind of saw it as a win-win.
I was offered the full-time position and I took it, and I was told straight off the bat that, we are offering you a full-time position, but the stakes are higher. A lot more is expected from you. And I definitely saw that as a welcome challenge. And I knew I was going to put my best foot forward, whether I was a part-timer or a full-timer. And just to know that my talent was being recognized enough so to the point where they're willing to risk putting me on as a full-time employee was fulfilling.
Yeah, the experience in the program, I thought it was excellent. You can make assumptions in your head and how you imagine something will be, but Praxis really, it was everything that I was expecting. I couldn't have imagined it better. It was, the online course and the curriculum that's completely online through a student portal. That was perfect.
I guess what I'm hoping to get out of this coming year is just a concrete idea of where I'm somewhat going with my career and what I want to do next, whether it be stay at that business and create growth or start my own.
You have to learn to see reality for what it is, because if you continue to do things the way that you wish things worked as opposed to what actually then you're going to get a big slap in the face from reality.
The more I looked at college and the more I looked at how much college was going to cost, the amount of time it was going to take out of my life, the more I realized I could do so much more. And the more comfortable I became with the idea of dropping out and doing Praxis and going to get a job instead.
There you have a wonderful montage, courtesy of freelancer.com, of some of the current, former, and future Praxis participants talking a little bit about what it's like and what motivated them. If any of that resonates with you, if that sounds like you, or if you know someone who they just want more than to wait for someone to tell them they're ready, to wait for instruction, to sit in a classroom and passively listen. They want to get out there and grapple with the world right now. They're the type that excels in any environment, but they're bored in most environments, and they want to be kind of taking the reins of their own education and life. Send them our way. Go to discoverpraxis.com. If you want to know more about my story and the philosophy behind Praxis and sort of thinking on education more broadly, there's a free ebook I have called The Future of School. You can go to thefutureofschool.com, download it there. You'll also find it on the Praxis website if you poke around there. But thefutureofschool.com to get a free ebook that talks about sort of what led me to the point of launching Praxis with the awesome team that we have. So check it out, discoverpraxis.com, thefutureofschool.com, and whatever you do, life is too short to be bored. So go do something awesome.